What's up, everybody? I tried to pause my video for my corn snake video, but it won't let me do that. I've got my Colombian redtail, and he has a respiratory infection that I'm treating. But before I show this video, anybody here who's watching this video and doesn't like seeing animals eating other animals, or any of this stuff, I don't want nasty comments. I don't want anything like that. All I want is to show off my beautiful collection and how I feed my snakes. And I don't need a bunch of stuff being said on the subject. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and show you. Oh, hang on, I didn't open the container. Now, he may not eat because I just gave him a rat fuzzy, but it obviously wasn't enough. So let's see what happens here. These are frozen thawed, by the way. I don't want him to tag me again. He already tagged me once tonight because he struck like that and he didn't coil like that the first time. And I reached in with the tongs to pick up the the rat pup, and he tagged my thumb. I mean, oops, got a little too close. There was his top teeth. I mean, you can kind of see here and here, and then just a little pricks on the other side. It doesn't really hurt. It's just kind of shocks the crap out of you. So anyway, I'm glad he's gonna eat this one. I feed 1.5 times the girth of the snake. As I was trying to say in the corn video, we don't have rats where I live in Arizona. You know, I'm about 100 miles from Vegas, and he might go searching for this thing like he did before. It's kind of funny. It was funny watching him do it. Anyway, it is a male, and well, I think he's gonna get down to business. He's going the wrong direction, though. It's kind of funny watching baby snakes try to figure things out. Anyway, I live about 100 miles from Vegas, and because of the rat bite fever, Petco and PetSmart have stopped selling rats of any kind. They do have frozen, but they're usually large when I need the small ones like this, or slightly bigger. So I'm going to start breeding my own, because I've got mice breeding. I haven't had any babies yet. I've got 5 females to 1 male, and I'm going to go to Henderson maybe and get some rats. I usually like a 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 ratio, and this container is probably a little too small, but I should have put him in a bigger one. See, now he's just gonna kind of filly fart around, and he'll eat it, but I mean, in other words, he's just like doing his thing. It's kind of funny watching him try to eat this thing. Unlike my corn just goes to town, as you saw in the video, if you watched it. Anyway, so I'm going to start breeding them, because obviously going all the way to Vegas is absolutely absurd, and it's too expensive to buy frozen. So, and I prefer pre-killed. So watch out for my video on how I construct my CO2 tank, because there's videos out there on what methods to use. And I mean, some people use dry ice, some people use the bicycle pump, compression pumps. They're the kind that, Like they look like a canister of some kind. Uses pressurized air though. Or CO2 from like BB guns and crap like that. If that method works for them, terrific. I personally find vinegar and baking soda to work. Just my own personal method. I don't like the cervical distortion where they separate the cervical spine of the mouse. I mean, you can do that on mice, but rats, it's a little harder. And without just smashing their heads in and hope and pray to God you got it on the first strike and they're not still suffering, kind of makes no sense. I have nothing against mice or rats. I used to have them as pets, and I still treat my breeders as pets. Give them the best possible food, that give them little things to chew on and play with. You know, I play with them a lot. I just feed off their babies. And eventually when, you know, they get too old to continue breeding, I'll feed them off too. Oh, there he goes. Finally stopped playing with his food. Hopefully this will leave a noticeable size bump. I got him from Triple O Reptile in Vegas. And that's the only reason why I have the baby frozen feeders rats in the first place. Because like I said, my stores don't sell them. And it just costs too much to go that far. So anyway, keep an eye out for my my other video that's coming up pretty soon on my CO2 chamber. And I have to make separate videos for each one of these snake feedings that I'm doing because I don't have a pause button. I only have a stop button, which kind of blows. So, alrighty, well, I'm going to let him finish eating this and just kind of watch and all. So, like I said, you want to notice a noticeable size bump in his stomach area. And since I didn't see that on the first one, like I don't with the corn, that's why I give the corn snake 2 pink mice, because she's a little small still for fuzzies. And he should be getting larger fuzzies, this baby right here. But I had to buy what the store had. I mean, you know. So that's why I'm feeding him too. So I'm gonna have to go back to Vegas soon and try to get some bigger feeders. Just because of that reason. I have some rat pinks in a bag in the hot water. They're nice and warm. I'm hoping my banana ball will eat one of these, but probably she's the one that's kind of a problem feeder. Only because she got freaked out in this particular tank that I have him in, because they had mites and I was treating them for the mites, and then got rid of those. I mean, mites are no big deal. Like fleas on a dog, you just have to eradicate them. It's not the end of the snake. It's not gonna kill your collection. I mean, it will if you don't take care of it or you do something stupid. But I use Prevenamite and Reptile Relief for the snake, Prevenamite for the tank. 3 treatments once a week. You know, one week. You know, 1 day a week for 3 weeks, and it eradicates them. No big deal. So anyway. He's a little underweight, according to the vet. He's about 200 grams. I don't know if you just heard that little click. It's kind of hard to hear. But like I said, he'd go back to the vet tomorrow for another Baytril shot to get rid of his... I actually bought him, when I bought him Sunday, I found out by Tuesday that he has a respiratory infection. So I'm kind of ticked. And of course, Triple L Reptile, they didn't want to do anything about it. They just said, oh, just, you know, bump up the heat and give him a fever and bake it, you know, cook it out of him. It's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. I've been doing this for over 15 years, people. You take him to the damn vet. You don't screw around. And then they go, oh, well, if he dies, and it, you know, say he dies within a week, you know, after the week, before or after, and you followed my suggestions and he dies, we'll give you another one. Are you freaking kidding me? No, not gonna happen. Absolutely not gonna happen. So, I'm still not noticing, well, a little bit of a bump. But I don't want to overfeed either. So I think 2 is good until I can go and get him the right size. So, anyway, I'm going to make a separate video for my other 2. Alright, well, there you have it. Peace, y'all.